When I came out in 2015, it was for the simple reason that I was finally ready. I had been wrestling with my sexuality for years. And if I had not deployed to Afghanistan, I might never have found the courage to come out.
So the man you guys just saw right there is Mayor Pete Buttigieg. He is one of the 200 million candidates we have from the Democratic Party running for office for the 2020 presidential nominee. And he's fantastic. And the speech that he's giving is from the LGBTQ Victory Fund brunch. And we're going to go into the details of what he does there. And he gives Mike Pence, our vice president, a nice right hook, beautifully, eloquently, just phenomenally, right? But before we get there, I do want to tell you who Pete Buttigieg is, because he's been blowing up. I mean, he's been kicking some real butt, right? And he has the resume to boot. It's amazing. It's amazing. Pete Buttigieg was first elected mayor of South Bend, Indiana in 2011 at only 29 years old and re-elected in 2015 with 80% of the vote. He served as a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy Reserve and took an unpaid 7-month leave during his mayoral term for a deployment to Afghanistan. On top of all of this greatness, he's a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford and graduated from Harvard. He is fantastic. And by the way, Pete Buttigieg is the first U.S. presidential candidate in a same-sex marriage. Let me not say too much. I'll let you guys watch the clip. It's heartfelt, it's honest, it's straight to the point. And I mean, you can't argue with this. It's beautifully said. Let's watch.
When I was younger, I would have done anything to not be gay. If you had offered me a pill to make me straight, I would have swallowed it before you had time to give me a sip of water. It was a hard thing to think about now. It's hard to face the truth that there were times in my life when if you had shown me exactly what it was inside me that made me gay, I would have cut it out with a knife. And the reason it's so awful to think about isn't just the knowledge that so many young people struggling to come to terms with their sexuality or their gender identity do just that. They harm themselves, figuratively or literally. But the real reason that it's so hard to think about is if I had the chance to do that, I would never have found my way to chastity. Thank God there was no pill. Thank God there was no knife. People talk about things like marriage equality as a moral issue. And it is certainly a moral issue as far as I'm concerned. It's a moral issue because being married to Chasten has made me a better human being. Because it has made me more compassionate, more understanding, more self-aware, and more decent. My marriage to Chasten has made me a better man. And yes, Mr. Vice President, it has moved me closer to God. I can tell you that if me being gay was a choice, it was a choice that was made far, far above my pay grade. And that's the thing I wish the Mike Pences of the world would understand. That if you got a problem with who I am, your problem is not with me. Your quarrel, sir, is with my Creator.
I absolutely love that last line that he just said. Your problem is not with me, your problem is with your Creator. And the way he explains growing up being gay, it helps people that are not in the gay community, that has never had to deal with something like that their entire life, understand what it's like to be gay, right? It's something that was shunned upon for so long in the history of mankind, and still to this day. And he said it himself. If he could take a pill, he would have done it as soon as possible. He said he would have cut it out if he knew what was causing him to be gay. It's hard. It's an insane thing to try to understand. But he did so, and he said so eloquently. And as you can see, he's very well spoken. He knows what he's doing. He's on top of his game, and he's been rising in the polls. I am, you guys know me, Bernie bro, that's my path, that's what I'm doing. He's not there yet, but policy-wise, Bernie, I think, outdoes him 1,000 to 1. But when it comes to what you want in a politician, like the look, the speech, how he carries himself, the charisma, all that extra stuff, I can't lie. Pete Buttigieg got Bernie beat in ways there's no way Bernie can catch up. But that's also the reason I'm in love with Bernie, because I don't care for that stuff. I really don't. I could care less. We had the perfect president persona with Barack Obama. I don't want the persona. I don't want the perfect persona no more. What I want is a perfect policy, and that's Bernie. But before I get that's something else, right? Right now we're talking about Pete Buttigieg, and just to end this, I want to tell you how he is rising in the polls. And there's these most recent two polls. A Mammoth University poll of likely Democratic caucus goers in Iowa on this past Thursday finds that Biden on top with 27%, Sanders at 16%, and Buttigieg at 9%. Yes, he's at 3. He's beating Warren. He's beating Kamala Harris. He's beating Cory Booker. He's beating them all. He's third. He's in third place, which is fantastic. In New Hampshire, the site of the first primary elections, a St. Anselm College poll also out Tuesday shows a similar lineup: Biden at 23%, Sanders at 16%, and Buttigieg at 11%. I don't know, Bernie. He's catching up. He's catching up, and Biden hasn't even announced yet, and he's still all the way up in the mid-20s. Bernie has gone down. I've seen previous polls where Bernie has been like 22, 23. Now he's down to 15, 16, 18%. But Buttigieg just keeps climbing up in those polls, But we'll see. I'm still a hardcore Bernie bro, but until then, we'll see. Pete Buttigieg wonderfully said, Mike Pence, you heard it. Your problem is not with Pete Buttigieg. It's not with his raising. It's not with him as a human being. It's with your creator. I love it. I love it. I love it.